Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? Chef K here today. So today we are going to make chocolate chip cookies today. So that's one of the most popular cookies that everyone makes. And we are going to go through it today with everyone. And first thing we are going to do is we need to get the butter softened. Alright, so the butter, it says to have a cup of butter, alright, or 8 ounces. So we have 2 4 ounces, again, 4 and 4. Okay, so this is a half cup, 2 half cups make a cup. All right, so cup of butter. I did leave this butter out a little bit ahead of time so it would soften up a little easier. What you can do also is just cut the butter in chunks, and that'll help it soften up as you're mixing it. All right, see how it's easy, it's going through, so it's already soft, kind of soft. Do it right on the paper, and then I'll just pick up the whole wrapper and dump it in. And we'll do the other one, same thing. Open it, and just cut some chunks, and it'll cream up a little better. And that's the term we need to know, is creaming. So we're creaming the butter, and we'll be adding the sugar also, and we cream the butter and the sugar together. I like to start out and just do the butter by itself first, and then I'll add the sugar. All right, so here's the other 4 ounces or half a cup. Get that in, and I'm just gonna start mixing that. The next step, we have to measure our sugars. So this has both white sugar and brown sugar. All right, so I have brown sugar here, and mine's a little bit firm. Just to let you know, if it is firm, the brown sugar, you can put it in a microwave for a little bit, and that'll actually soften it up. I'm just gonna see if I can get it out without doing that. It is kind of firm, so I might actually put it in just a little bit in a microwave, just to soften it up. And check on this. I'm going to scrape this down a little bit. That butter off the paddle beater. So what we have is the paddle beater is what we're using today, not the wire whisk. Scrape this down, and then we're going to continue mixing this. Check on our sugar. Definitely, you could tell it's definitely softened up. I'm just going to take it right out, and you want to pack that down a bit. Sure, get it soft, and then what am I doing? Packing it down hard again. That's all right. Once it gets mixed up, it'll thin itself out. All right, so there's our brown sugar, and we're going to add that in. And then we also need a cup of regular sugar. We're just going to spoon that right in. again, this is creaming your butter and your sugars. And another thing I did that the recipe says is preheat the oven, 350. I already did that. Before we got online here, we preheated it 350. All right, sit on the sugar. Gonna stop it one more time and scrape it down again. Make sure I get the sides, that butter off the sides. Now, next thing is our eggs. So the eggs, now we have 2 eggs we need, but the recipe says 1 at a time, guys. So we don't take and crack both our eggs and put them in the same bowl. So what I'm gonna do is gonna crack one first. I'm gonna put it in a bowl. It also calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So what I like to do is just add my vanilla right to my eggs. So we're gonna do, we need 2 teaspoons and 2 eggs. So what I'll do is, what do you think? Why don't we just add the 1 teaspoon in each egg? So 1 teaspoon in this egg. And then when we do the other egg, we'll add the other teaspoon. So here I had the egg and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna drop that in. Scrape it down one more time. All right. And what is going on here? Who started my vanilla already? Somebody started putting the vanilla in before I was ready. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Another egg. And somebody made a mess over there because they couldn't hold the vanilla steady. Oh, man. Okay, that's okay. That's what cookie's about, making mess. You're gonna make a mess sometimes. Look at me, I even made a mess. All right. So, got that mixed up real nice. And we're gonna add our 2nd egg and 2nd teaspoon of vanilla. And that part is done. I'm gonna let that slow down. And now it calls for, actually, it calls for something a little strange. The baking soda, it calls for it to be dissolved in warm water. So I have my a little cup, and I have some warm water in here. And it calls for 2 teaspoons of hot water, and hopefully it's still pretty warm. Feels pretty warm. And I'm just gonna put it in here, and then it's just to dissolve the baking soda. And we need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm just gonna dump that in. I'm gonna stir that right in to dissolve it. And then I'm just gonna pour that right in. Gotta make sure that you stir that in. The warm water should help it dissolve. And that incorporates in there nice because it's already liquefied. So this is looking good. And then the flour is the last step we need. 3 cups of flour. Oh yeah, and the chips, of course. But the flour is 3 cups. So we're gonna measure that up. And it does call for salt, but the thing is, you can do it this way. This is what I think sometimes how I do it, is if the butter is already salted, I don't put salt in it. But it did say a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I actually omitted it because I'm using regular salted butter. So I'm not gonna worry about putting the salt into it because I already have salt in the butter. 3 cups. And then I'm gonna just keep this cup out and I'm just gonna start adding it slowly so it combines. Let that mix up nice. You can see once it gets incorporated in, we can start adding another cup. And at this point, I'm gonna actually scrape it down one more time. Make sure I get it off this paddle beater, because sometimes the butter doesn't come off of this and it's still sitting on there. Alright, so now get it off the sides, off the paddle beater. Now I'm actually going to scrape this back off of there. And then we'll add another, if you want to put another thing of flour in there, partial cup, mix it a little bit more. At this point, since it's getting thicker, I'm going to do the stop and go type of thing so it doesn't fly out of there. All right, let's put a little bit more flour in there. Stop it, scrape it off one more time. All right, let's get the rest of the flour in. We could do it just for this on the other side. And we're done with that. And now we're gonna again slowly all coming together real good here. More time scrape. And then what's the last thing? What are we gonna need? Say it louder.
Chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips. Everyone's favorite part. All right. It does call for nuts also. I forgot. I don't do it with, because the kids don't really like the nuts in theirs, but it does. It's an option. Some walnuts in there if you want. And at this point, I think we're in pretty good shape here. So it's basically, it's 2 cups. And really, this is 12 ounces. I'm not sure if it'll make 2 cups, but I think it is. There's one. Right on the money. 2 cups. So, it's weird because 2 cups should be 8 and 8 should be 16, right? A pound. The bag said 12 ounces, so I was kind of looking at it for a second there. So the bag is actually 12 ounces. So it's by volume, the amount of chips you put in, because if it was by weight, that would have been 16 ounces. All right, so I think we're good. Just scrape it off one more time. And you don't really want to overmix, because what's happening, you'll crush your chips up and it'll start turning the batter brown because they're all getting mashed in there. So I just do it just until they're mixed in, and then that's fine. And then we're going to put them on our cookie sheets. So the cookie sheets I have ready here can actually clean our table a little bit so we don't get stuff on our sheet when we put it on. All right, so again, when we do these, use our portion scoop, and it's important to make sure that you flatten it out. What I always like to do is just take my thumb straight over and go right across it, flatten it out. And then we're just gonna drop them. This is a drop cookie. We're just gonna drop them. All right, make sure you flatten it so you have the correct amount. Each cookie should be the same size. And this recipe says it makes 24, 2 dozen or 24 cookies. And I guess it depends on the size, because truthfully to me, I bet you we're gonna have more than that. Because I have, well, I'm not sure what I'm getting on a tray, probably about 8 or 10. I stagger them a little bit. So when they do cook out, they're gonna spread out. So one will go in there, one will go kind of cook in that part. So you wanna give it a little space that way. We get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so we're getting 10 on a tray. And sometimes you might have to put, if it starts sticking, you do a couple things, put a little flour on, or you can put a little bit of warm water and then put it on your scoop so it doesn't stick to the batter doesn't stick on there. I'm actually gonna do 2 trays just so I can get these cooked the same time, because I don't like staggering them. Like put one in, one in, you got to keep track of 2 different times. It only has 2 racks. Well, actually it has more than 2 racks. I probably could have did 3 on there. Oh, another thing you could do is you could put a little cooking spray on this too. Just a little bit on there, just a little spray. And that should help this come off. All right, so already we have 20. If we did 2 trays, so we're definitely going to have more than the 2 dozen. I believe it said, let me just check again. Yeah, it says yields 24. That don't seem right though. 4 dozen, 24. That would be
36. Oh wait.
48, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that.
It'd be 48. So I don't know. Something's not correct with that. Where that says 24 yields 24, and then 4 dozen. 4 times 12 is 48. So that looks like it might be close to what we're going to get. I'd say close to 48. So we're going to put these in. And we'll get them cooking. And they're about 10 minutes, I believe it said. 10 minutes or so. Yeah, 10 minutes once it's preheated. All right, so Sarah wants to show you the cookies that are already done.
Okay, so these are the cookies that are already done.
All right, I thought you were going to do a ding.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I thought you were going to do a ding. Now you're ready. Here, go over it again.
We're ready.
All right.
They look delicious, don't
Yeah,
they?
nice. All right, guys, so that is it for today. They're really Chips Ahoy cookies. We kind of told the story. I have an uncle that's mad because every time I do cookies, he doesn't see the final product, so we kind of played a joke. But yeah, they're not the real cookies. But anyway, guys, that's it for today's demonstration on the cookies. And wish you guys a good day, and we will see you soon.